Ever wonder what happens when you merge an e-reader with a smartphone? The Bigme HiBreak is here to answer that question. A phone designed for digital minimalists, productivity enthusiasts and tech fans curious about the e-ink displays. This isn't your typical smartphone. It features the world's first Kaleido 3 color e-paper display, perfect for focus, eye comfort and long battery life. But can it handle the demands of daily use, or is it just a fun experiment? Let's dive in. The unboxing is as minimal as the phone itself. It sets the tone for what the HiBreak is all about: simplicity. Inside you get the HiBreak. The phone itself is refreshingly lightweight at around 170 grams, with a leather textured plastic bag that feels durable and avoids fingerprints. Also included are a quick start guide, a warranty card and a SIM ejector tool. There's no charging brick, aligning with the eco-friendly trend. Personally, I didn't mind, but it's worth noting if you're expecting extras. Bigme also sent over a basic plastic case. It's nothing fancy, but does the job. At first glance, you might think there's a sticker on the screen, but no, that's just the magic of e-ink. The phone isn't actually powered on when it comes out of the box. Instead, the e-ink display retains the last image shown, in this case a screensaver. The design is functional, unassuming yet professional. However, the chunky bezels around the 5.84-inch screen give it a retro feel, especially in a market full of near bezel-less displays. Let's dive into what makes this phone stand out: the Kaleido 3 e-ink display. At 5.84 inches with a 720 by 1440 pixels resolution, it's not competing with OLEDs on color sharpness, but that's not the point. The trade-off is a comfort. This display is built for reading. But here's the kicker: take it outside, even on the sunniest day, and no other display comes close. That's the real magic of e-ink. Navigation is flexible. Out of the box it's set to gesture controls, but I switched to the traditional Android 3-button layout, back, home and recent apps, because it's easier for me. There's also a floatable feature enabled by default, which brings up quick actions like copy, undo or back. It's useful and it's turned on by default, but I found it a bit cluttered, so I turned it off to simplify my experience. Again, that's totally a personal preference. On the left side, there's a customizable button that's surprisingly practical. I set mine like this: a short press acts like a back button, and double click grabs a screenshot, and a long press launches the e-ink center. Now, this is where the real magic happens. Inside the e-ink center, you can fine-tune the display's behavior, adjust the refresh rate, tweak contrast, brightness and vividness, or pick from 5 modes tailored to specific tasks. Here we got default mode, which is great for daily use. A magazine mode optimizes text-heavy content like ebooks. There's a comic mode, which enhances colors for, you guessed it, comics. There's a video mode, which pushes the refresh rate to its maximum, so you can watch YouTube if you really want to. And the custom mode gives you full control to create the perfect balance for your needs. One detail I want to clarify: the DPI isn't locked into modes. You can customize it on the Android settings. By default, it's set to 386, which works well. Adjusting it makes fonts and user interface elements bigger or smaller, but honestly, the default setup feels spot on. Now let's talk about reading, because this is where the HiBreak truly shines. I tested 3 formats: an EPUB, we got the Great Gatsby here, a Mobifile, and there's a notebook of Leonardo da Vinci, and a PDF, and it handled them all beautifully. You can turn pages by swiping the screen or using the volume buttons, which doubles as a neat one-handed feature. Highlight the word and a built-in dictionary pops up instantly. From there you can search online, think Wikipedia or an online dictionary, or even translate words or entire pages on the fly. And since it's a phone, it uses a SIM card to stay connected, so cloud storage is seamless. Now, a few drawbacks: that 5.84-inch screen feels cramped for PDFs with loads of graphics, and the built-in speaker, let's just say, it's functional at best. If you're into audiobooks, bring Bluetooth headphones. So is it perfect? No, but anyone curious about e-ink technology or looking for a budget-friendly way to enjoy reading on a smartphone, the HiBreak checks a lot of boxes. Curious about sketching? I tried basic drawing apps like Microsoft Whiteboard. While usable, the phone's slower refresh rate means lines lag behind the pen and no stylus I tested worked properly. So quick doodles, sure. Detailed sketches, not so much. Watching videos like YouTube or Netflix on Kaleido 3 display is unique. It feels like watching animated newspaper photos, which is novel but not practical for long-term viewing. This isn't a screen for heavy media consumption. The HiBreak's cameras, 30 megapixels on the rear and 5 megapixels on the front, both are basic but functional. Photos on the e-ink screen look like a vintage newspaper print, which is charming in its way. When transferred to another device, the images look more standard, though the quality remains average. Out of curiosity, I compared photos and videos from the Bigme with those from the Pixel 9. As expected, the difference is night and day, but let me make one thing clear. I'm not here to dunk on the Bigme's camera. Over the years as a photographer, I've always said the best camera is the one you have with you. And in this case, the Bigme's camera is there when you need it. It's fine for scanning documents or snapping quick photos, perfectly serviceable for basic tasks. Video though is a different story. The lack of stabilization makes footage pretty shaky, but for quick, simple shots, it gets the job done, and honestly, I'm okay with that. The phone runs on MediaTek Helio P35 with 6 gigs of RAM, barely enough for smooth multitasking. Performance is sluggish but adequate for reading, light browsing and basic apps. Storage is 128 gigs expandable via microSD, which is great for books, photos and other media. However, the software is a step behind. The phone ships with Android 11, which lacks modern features like face unlock, auto brightness and NFC for contactless payments. It's also not Play Protect certified, which might limit compatibility with some apps. It has pre-installed apps like Bookshelf, Kindle, Bigme Cloud and even Bigme GPT, which is an optimized AI app for generating text and drawings at this phone. Of course, you can install ChatGPT or Gemini, Claude or any other app from Google Play Store. Just keep in mind, not every app will be optimized for this e-ink display. This phone isn't about cutting-edge hardware or software. It's designed to cut through digital noise. It handles calls, messaging, apps and GPS just fine. So if you're looking for a pure, distraction-free experience, this gets the job done. If battery is your priority, the HiBreak doesn't disappoint. The 4000 mAh battery paired with the e-ink display easily lasts a week of moderate use, longer for light users. However, there's a noticeable standby drain, and the lack of fast charging means a full charge takes around 2 hours. Let's get this out of the way. This is not a gaming phone. Gaming on HiBreak is an odd experience. Casual games like Candy Crush are playable but hindered by muted colors and low refresh rates. Out of curiosity, testing Asphalt Legends on the lowest setting was unique. The gameplay felt more like watching a stylized comic strip than immersive gaming, giving off, if you remember, 1980s aha take on me music video vibes. It's a fun novelty for casual gaming, but e-ink's inherent limitations make it impractical for anything demanding. So who's the Bigme HiBreak really for? If you're looking to cut out distractions and focus more on reading, podcast or basic tasks, this could be exactly what you need. But let's set the right expectations. This isn't for heavy app usage or binge watching Netflix. The e-ink display shines in certain areas, but it does have its limits. Now the display is where it really stands out, especially outdoors. Whether you're commuting or sitting in direct sunlight, it's a joy to read on. The compact size, perfect for slipping into your pocket, way more portable than your Kindle, especially in the summer when you don't have a bag or jacket to carry bigger devices. For outdoor reading or quick access to your library, this is unbeatable. And with a SIM card slot and access to Google Play Store, it's surprisingly versatile. You can handle essentials like texting, calls, navigation, or even multi-factor authentication. But here's the real kicker. It keeps you out of the dopamine traps or social media or TikTok. It's the perfect low distraction device for staying productive or focused. For readers, that portability is a game changer. You get a compact e-reader that handles EPUBs, PDFs and Kindle books with ease. Add in features like page turning buttons, dictionary lookups and even real-time translation, and you get a solid companion for both casual reading and study sessions. At under $220 US, it's also pretty affordable for what it does. If you're after e-ink smartphone, this sits in a sweet spot. Versatile and premium without breaking the bank. For simpler option, you might look at the Light Phone 2. Or if you want something from a more established brand, Hisense also has options. But for what you pay in here, the HiBreak nails a unique balance. For me, this is exactly what I've been searching for. A device that lets me handle calls, text and reading without constant distraction of endless notifications or mindless scrolling. So if you're curious about the Bigme HiBreak, check out the links in the description. And hey, I'd love to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And let's talk about where e-ink technology is heading. As always, thanks for watching. My wife and I love bringing you these real, no-nonsense reviews. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and let's keep this community growing.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.